pay-per-view. Gervonta Davis also, speaking of him, did an average with, including on-demand and live streaming, a average of 774,000 viewers. The whole show averaged 602,000 viewers, including on-demand and live streaming. I think the numbers without that is an average audience of 577,000 viewers, making this the second highest viewed fight on Showtime this year, obviously behind the Deontay Wilder Dominic Brazil fight. Gary, I mean, is this Gervonta Davis turning a corner in terms of stardom? Is it just a factor of him fighting an opponent that people know more? Is this a sign that Showtime is, bouncing back to some degree? I mean, thoughts on what this number could mean, what it doesn't mean, all the fun topics we're going to get into.
It's a good number, so that means it's good.
Yes.
Now I'm just really concerned about that Jamal Charlo number, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Like, this is 3 times that, 2.5 times that. Like, that's concern. Why did Jamal Charlo do that bad a number? Like, I thought it was because half the subscribers dropped Showtime because they were kind of out of boxing. But that's not the case because he just Davis just did his best number. The Hugo Boss Ruiz fight only did like 300,000 live viewers. So this is like double that. Now the opponent's better.
Way better. Far more known. Better. I mean, 50 Cent signed him. That's huge casual attention right there. Don't diminish that, Gary. 50 Cent's a national treasure. You have Nicolas Cage searching for that guy. That's how treasured he is.
50 Cent was on my list of top 20 rappers. I don't think he was on Anthony Walker's list, though.
Ooh, shots fired. And you're right. I don't think he was. Was he on mine? I want to say he was.
I think he was. I think you were the only one. I don't think he was on Food's list either. Although he might have been on Food's.
Food's list was trash. Okay, I want to repeat that every time we bring up that video. You can find it on Trending Now Network.
Food's list was trash. I just think the order was weird. Like, he didn't put the order together. Like, he just came up with 20 guys. Like, oh, I was supposed to put these guys in order. Oh, let me do that real quick. And then he named the same guy 3 times. He said that already. No, it's a good sign for Tank. The only thing that's concerning is Jermell Charlo did a good number on Fox. So now he thinks he's a pay-per-view star. He said, if you want to do the trilogy with Harrison, let's do it on pay-per-view. I'm not paying for that. Like, that's not a pay-per-view fight. Does Tank Davis now think he's a pay-per-view star because he did a good number?
Yes. Sorry, I for our podcast listeners. Yes, because these are Mikey Garcia numbers, which he then went on to do just under Mikey numbers, which he then went on to do in a pay-per-view with Spence. So I guarantee you Davis is looking at certain fights like Haney, Loma, Lopez as, no, those are pay-per-view fights. Like Comey, Bartholomew, no, those are still Showtime, probably, let's be honest. But the big fights, yeah, they're going to have to be pay-per-view now.
Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney would be on the Zone, though, right?
Those guys would leave the Zone.
Devin Haney? Garcia would have to. Was Oscar in a position where he's going to negotiate?
And let's be honest, Oscar and Eric Owens would be like, no, Tank Davis is going to demolish Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is trash. So Haney is not big enough to really contend with. I mean, Haney, let's be honest, let YouTubers main event above him. He doesn't have any right to fucking talk to Gervonta Davis about who's the A side. He just doesn't. He
needs to fight someone before he fights Tank Davis. Like, I'm tired of going from cab drivers to top 3 guys in a weight class. Like, Haney should go fight somebody. He should go fight Luke Campbell.
Yeah.
Beat Luke Campbell.
Well, we got Campbell Fortuna for that WBC belt, air quotes, because Haney is the champion in recess. So Haney versus the winner of that fight makes complete sense, and that's a great fight. And then the winner of that fight might fight the winner of Loma Lopez or whatever is going to happen. God knows. Why
If
not
we
Devin
get
Haney
Cam
versus Ryan?
Davis,
Hold on. Somebody asking in the chat, why not Devin Haney versus Ryan? Because they both need to fight established people. They're equally not established. So like I'm okay with prospects fighting each other, but if there's established veterans in the division within the top 10 that you can fight, go fight those guys. Because that's what determines how talented you are. Fighting other untested prospects doesn't really equal how talented you are. Like Dubois Gorman, while we know Dubois is really good, we only can really base off of a fight against a guy that's also kind of untested. So Dubois is still a little bit of an unknown commodity with the top level guys. If he fought a Pulev, a Takam, certain other guys, we have a better barometer because they fought the top guys, then we get a barometer, we get a test. If Haney or Ryan Garcia fought, again, like Fortuna's, Richard Comey, Bartholomew, even Gamboa to a degree, like that's a barometer that we can then go and say, these guys have fought top level guys. This is how these prospects face, this is how these champions have faced against these sort of barometer tests. So that's why I'm not in favor of Ryan Garcia versus Haney right now.
what about Ryan Garcia versus Hector Tanahara?
I'm fine with it, but no, I want like Ryan needs to step up. That's still fighting the Dunos of the world.
Well, that's why Tanahara's fighting Juan Carlos Burgos, because he's fought all those guys. He's fought Haney, he's fought Mikey Garcia, he's fought Rocky Martinez.
Yes, I think so.
To a draw. So I know he's dated. He's kind of a fossil, Burgos, but
no, that is more of an accurate description of like the type of fighter you want to see a prospect face. You do. Now more of a name.
They just gave Virgil Ortiz.
Like here's the thing, Tanahara is not a name, and I don't think he's at the level of Ryan Garcia yet. So like he shouldn't be fighting the level of guys that we're talking about with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, to be honest. I know Gary's a Tanahara fan, but let's just be honest here. Tanahara is not to the level, both in name value, card position, as Haney and Ryan Garcia. Therefore, they need to take step ups to a degree that Tanahara does not.
A card position, sure. Like Tanahara is not a main event.
But card position usually equals competition level to a degree. Right? Like Tanahara is like Julian Rodriguez for top rank. Really good prospect. But he's still like the card opener, man. And that's where they expect him to be right now. So he's still going to fight those level of opponents that you expect from a card opener. Garcia is a co-main event to Canelo Alvarez now. He has to step it the fuck up in terms of name value, in terms of opponent.
Tanahara is a master boxer, right? He's not a superstar outside the ring like Ryan Garcia.
But he's not a master boxer. You know why? Because we've never seen him face anyone that's legit. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay? Like, I don't want to see him face Tanahara. Why? Because Tanahara is nothing yet. He's a non-commodity right now. Ryan Garcia is a non-commodity too. The only difference is he's a name and he's positioned on cards, in terms of like where on a card, to fight better opponents. Where I'm expecting that my bang for my buck should be higher. Okay? That's why he needs to fight better opposition. Haney has a fucking belt around his waist. He needs to fight better opponents than Tanahara. Like these are just like Tanahara is not in any sort of equation for the top 10 right now. Tanahara needs to fight top 20 guys, and then fight top 15 guys, and then fight top 10 guys. The top 15 guys need to fight other top 15 guys. And Ryan Garcia, Haney, those are top 15 guys.
Who are you putting on Ryan Garcia's hit list? Like, who has he beaten that's better than the guys
Who the fuck has Tanahara beaten that's better?
He's beaten the same level. He's beaten Robert Menazeres. He's beaten Ivan Delgado. He's beaten Ezekiel Alvarez.
Cool. Like I said, non-commodity. Like I said, the non-commodity. Gary, I don't know. Gary. I don't know if you heard me, but I equated Ryan Garcia and Tanahara. I said they're the same fucking non-commodity. I don't know what you're talking about here, Gary.
I don't know what I'm talking about either. I said
no. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. And I said the same with Haney. They've all fought nobody. They're all the same. But the difference is Haney has a belt. Ryan Garcia is a co-main to Canelo. Therefore, they have to fight better opposition. Automatically. End of story. Tanahara, hold on, let me finish. Tanahara is opening cards. So he can take the long road as a prospect. So for Ryan Garcia and Haney, when we're talking about who they should fight next, Tanahara is not in the equation. Because Tanahara is not going to be that opponent for those guys Well, it suffices the idea that they are either a co-main to Canelo, they're a champion. No, it doesn't do that. Okay? Haney needs to fight a top 5 guy. He's a fucking champion now. Ryan Garcia is co-main eventing to Canelo Alvarez and fighting guys like Romaro Duno or whoever his name is. Okay?
Well, that was a grudge match. That was because they said he was scared.
Yeah, it was a grudge match. It was promoted very well by Eric Gomez to make us think that fight mattered. It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
Not at all. Okay? So that's why he needs to fight better opposition. That's what I'm trying to say, Gary. It's not that I'm saying that these guys are better than Tanahara. I don't care about who's better. Because none of these guys have done anything yet.
Right.
So it's like it's splitting hairs. Like none of them have done anything. But 2 of the 3 are materially positioned to fight better opponents. And in the ways of how the sport is structured, should be fighting better opponents. That's my argument.
Tanahara is stepping up against a better opponent. He's fighting a former Burgos was a world title challenger. He's a name who's been in the ring with everybody. That'll be a better name than anyone Ryan Garcia has on his resume.
Awesome. Awesome. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Gary.
How does Burgos not matter?
No, Gary, I don't care. That's not my argument. I'm not trying to argue who's better, Gary. You're thinking about like a fanboy right now. It's like I'm arguing with Rob talking about like fucking Conor Benn or Fowler. Like I don't care. I don't care about these motherfuckers. What have you done for me? And guess what? Even Tanahara's opponent, still, I don't give a fuck. He's not a top 15 guy. So you're still a non-commodity for me. You're still a prospect that's a card opener fighting that level of opponent. Okay? Like the best names you're fighting right now are guys that have gone the distance with people. Whoopie fucking do. You're not a champion. You're not co-main eventing for Canelo. My standards for you are lowered. I don't care. Go away, Tanahara. Go do your thing. Until you're in a position on a card where my money becomes an issue, then man, I don't care. Because right now I can watch Tanahara fights on YouTube for free, on DAZN, on their YouTube channel. So like I'm good. You can fight whoever on that. That's free. Haney, you're a champion. Ryan Garcia, you're co-main eventing to DAZN on the Canelo card, or main eventing at times. You need to do more. DAZN costs a lot of money here, buddy. You gotta step it up. That's what I'm arguing here, Gary. But I'm not arguing which one's better. I don't care about that argument right now.
No, I agree. The other 2 guys obviously are bigger draws and are in better positions to get bigger fights.
But that's not what I'm arguing. I understand what you just said, but that's not what I'm arguing either.
I agree that all the guys have to fight better competition. I'm agreeing with everything you said. I just saw a little red when you said unfavorable things about Tanahara, and I stopped listening after that. And then on the offensive.
Look, like if you're a prospect, there's a beauty in being like a non-commodity to a degree. You can fight on the undercards, and you can suffer losses. You can have struggles and rebound, and you're under the radar, right? There's a benefit to that. So like, don't get it as like some twisted way of me like shading all these guys. It's not, but it's a reality. Okay, like Julian Rodriguez is a great example of who Tanahara is. A guy that's a card opener for top rank cards that largely no one knows of. Right, Gary? I mean, we talk about him, I feel like, more than any other boxing podcast. But
yeah, I agree.
The expectations for those guys are far, far lower than these other guys that are positioned to a degree to they're supposed to fight meaningful fights. Whether the hardware attached to them or the placement on the card they're attached to. You're expected to fight meaningful fights because you're in a position to fight a meaningful fight. When you continue to not, that's the issue.
No, and I agree. And I think Burgos, I was just talking about, is a step in the right direction, right? It's a former guy that we know that's been in the ring. After that, go fight Ricky Burns. How about that? How about a name like that?
That's
a 15-20 guy. Go fight Ricky Burns or Yvonne Mendy or someone like that. A veteran who's game tested.
And Ryan Garcia should have been fighting those guys already. Like Ryan Garcia should have fought one of those sort of guys on the co-main to Canelo card instead of Duno. Haney should have been fighting better opponents by now. Let's be honest.
Good. He might lose to those guys, and then look what you've done. Now you've exposed your prospect as the bum that he is.
But it's not really true that he's a bum that he is. Look at Lubin.
He's not. If you're gonna start comparing him to guys like Devin Haney or Hector Tanajara or Teofimo Lopez or the cream of the crop at 135, he ain't there yet.
Wait, who are you talking about? Who are you talking
about? Ryan Garcia.
I thought you were talking about Haney.
No, wait. Haney's a far better prospect. And I know he's a world champion, but I'm still calling him a prospect than Ryan Garcia is.
No, of course. No, of course.
Garcia's not as good as those guys.
I was talking about Haney in that the last minute, not Ryan Garcia.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, like Ryan Garcia can take the step up. Like he's good enough. Like he should be fighting better opponents. Ryan Garcia, I get that he might lose, but who cares if he loses?
They don't have much else if he loses.
It doesn't matter. Look, it doesn't matter if you lose. Like, we got to get out of that mentality. Fernando Vargas took L after L after L, man. He was still a fucking draw.
Not at this stage of his career. Not fighting top 30 guys. He wasn't. He lost to guys like Shane Mosley and Oscar De La Hoya and Felix Trinidad.
I understand that. But I think Ryan Garcia is going to beat the Yavin Mendes of the world. Like, you don't think that? I think he will. No, stop. Come on.
He got work with Jason Velez, bro.
Not that much, though. No. I don't think so. And that was also 2 or 3 years ago now.
He should fight, what's the other Puerto Rican fighter's name? That he fought Lamont Roach to a draw.
That'd be at 130, though. That'd be a 130 pounder. Fuck that.
Oh, yeah. That's just bothering me.
No, I think Yavin Mendes is a perfect opponent for Ryan Garcia next. Like, that would be a great test. Yavin Mendes gave Luke Campbell some trouble. You know, like it would make sense. I don't know.
Orlando Cruz is the name I was thinking of, right? But that's a 130 pounder. Mm. But a guy like that, a 135 equivalent of that, that's a guy who beats all the bad fighters and loses to the good fighters. If you can beat him, then you're a good fighter. Not a great fighter, but you should be able to beat. That should have been telling to me when Lamont Roach couldn't beat him, right? Like, I just didn't realize that Lamont Roach wasn't going to throw a jab at all, like 0 jabs. That's problematic.
Quickly, SSB saying Ryan Garcia is training Jake Paul right now. I doubt he would step up anytime soon. Well, look, Christmas Eve, he was with Canelo training Christmas Eve. Ryan Garcia is still with Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Reneso, who's trainer of the year, arguably. I'm telling you, like, bless the kid's an athlete. Like, if you're that athletically gifted and you're that young and you're with that camp, you're going to be molded into something talented. Maybe not, the next superstar, but he's going to be a top 10 guy. To say he's not is ridiculous. Like, he could put it this way. He doesn't beat this person, but he gives guys like Elise Selby and Ricky Burns all the trouble in the world right now. And he is a very unpolished prospect, in my opinion. But he will. Am I wrong in that, Gary?
No,
talking about Ryan Garcia here.
Yeah, I know we're talking about Ryan Garcia. And does he beat Ricky Burns? It would say a lot about him if he did. I would probably lean towards Burns, and I would probably,
I would lean towards them as well. But Ryan Garcia would give them all tough fights. And he's still a very unpolished prospect. You give him another year of working towards the Ricky Burns. Again, given the Yavin Mendes and work towards the Ricky Burns and Lee Selby, that sort of level of opponent later down the line. The Richard Comeys of the world, the Bartholomew's of the world. You work towards that. But you have to. And then you fight the champions of the world, like Loma or Lopez. I don't count Haney right now. You got to do that. Sorry. And I think because of his car placement, he has to do that. But we've been talking about this for too long here. I don't know how we got on that topic anyways. Swinging it back to Gervonta Davis Gamboa for a brief second, because I really didn't get my thoughts on it. Obviously, a massive success for Gervonta Davis. Huge step in the right direction for Showtime and Gervonta Davis. Is it indicative of anything long-term? I don't know. I think Gervonta Davis has always done pretty decent numbers. This was obviously a huge spike in those numbers, but he's always done decent numbers. This was also the first time he's fought a notable name in a long time. I think that's why you got this huge jump up in numbers. I think people really discredit how well known Gamboa's name is in the boxing and sports circle. Like Gamboa is known. You can make an argument he is still probably the biggest win of Crawford's resume in Crawford's career.
As far as name value, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people like this is what happens when you have two names together. Like let alone like a competitive matchup, because it kind of turned out to be. But if you put two names together, you get good numbers on TV. Shocker. You put Jamal Charlo and Dennis Hogan together, you're gonna produce shit numbers. Right, Gary? Like this isn't rocket science. Like the more I was thinking about this story and whether to think of some big broad narrative to bring out from this number, there isn't one other than you put names together, you produce metrics. You put a name against nobody, no one cares. A la most of Showtime's schedule this year.
Or Crawford versus Mean Machine.
Yeah. You're going to see a massive dip in viewership. 1 million people drop off from his last event on ESPN. You're going to see that.
And a related note to Ryan Garcia, I just looked at the updates on my phone, and I got an update from a Ellie Sekback video that said Ryan Garcia, huge step up fight against Fonseca. Only losses to Farmer and Davis.
That's how you keep your connections, Gary. Come on. That's how you keep your connections, okay? And, speaking of that, it's New Year's Eve show. Who gives a shit? Mike Coppinger, right? He's been receiving a lot of hate online for being like a DAZN guy lately. And, I hate to burst people's bubbles here. Because, remember he used to work for, PBC and Inside PBC. Remember, this year? That happened this year as well. Like, he was a Fox employee to a degree. These top media guys, they suck up to everyone. It's not just PBC. It's not just DAZN. It's not just ESPN or Top Rank. All of them suck up to everyone. That's why you would get an Eddie Hearns saying, I, of course, pay for Dan Rayfield's hotels. Now, Dan Rayfield, some of his reporting might be a little bit biased towards ESPN, just like all these people, respective to their networks, might be. But they still suck up to everyone involved. I know we want to peg certain reporters as, they're DAZN guy, they're PBC guy. No, they just like power and access. And sucking up to these people gives them that. That's what it is.
Although Dan is apparently out at ESPN after his contract is up.
Wait. You're breaking this to me. What?
Yeah, you didn't hear this?
No. You're breaking information to me. Wait, Dan Rayfield is done with ESPN?
We talked about this a while. Okay, so it was the Joshua fight, and he wanted 2 armed security guards from the time he got off the plane to go to the Anthony Joshua fight in Saudi Arabia. And ESPN was like, well, no, you're not getting that. And then, you guys don't know the story? And ESPN
was I remember you saying that, but I just kind of...
ESPN's like, no, well, it's good. It's a good thing we're done with Fat Boy at the end of his contract. Can't wait to get him out of here. Something along those. The story's a month old now or whatever. But yeah, he's apparently done.